Welcome, viewers, to our very first public actual play of They Came From Classified, our spy movie and assorted media themed They Came From game that we announced here at Onyx Path Con. We have a delightful scenario out for you. It is called Rogues Gallery, which we will be getting into very soon. Now, before we do, a bit of housekeeping, but so that everyone is aware. Onyx Path Con is, of course, a convention being run for and by Onyx Path Publishing. And we aren't just doing this to show games off. We also want people playing games, running games. There are links you can follow. They will be posted periodically in the chat so that you can participate in games and run games. If you've got a couple or a few spare hours today, then please do consider signing up to even a random game. This is a perfect opportunity to learn a new system, learn a new setting. And if you want to run a game and you're not confident, maybe you don't want to appear on camera, you don't have to appear on camera. You can run these things on Discord. It's voice only, or you can even do text only games if you want. That's absolutely fine. And what I have found with speaking to a lot of attendees is people aren't always confident running games they have never ran before, of course, especially if they feel like it is for people they don't know. Well, the good news is you can advertise a game as They Came From Beneath the Sea Beginner's Workshop or something like that. And essentially the description of the game could be, I just want to get a feel for how They Came From Beneath the Sea works, and I'd love for other people to join. So you could get together, have a play around with the rules, get a bit familiar with the setting. You don't have to tell a deep, immersive story. It's just a good opportunity for you and like-minded individuals to get into a room, essentially, and talk about a game like you would in a game store the first time you pick a game off the shelf. It's a lovely collaborative experience. So please do consider doing that. It's one of the best opportunities you can have from a convention like this, is getting to speak to gamers about games you're interested in. Next up, Onyx Path Con has a charitable element, the Bodhana Group, who are a charity. They use role-playing games for therapeutic purposes. They are taking donations as part of every single game that is signed up to. A portion of that goes to the Bodhana Group. They're a fantastic group. You can donate directly to them through their website. It's BODHANA group. Look them up on Google. They do wonderful work, and they help out kids, they help out adolescents with role-playing games, and it is just a fantastic charity to contribute towards. So either contribute to them directly or sign up for a game, and a portion of the money you sign up with will go to them. And finally, there is another finally, on drivethrurpg.com right now, Onyx Path have got a lot of sales going on. You can go over to drivethrurpg.com, just type in Onyx Path, and you will see loads of games on sale, bundles of games on sale. This is a really good opportunity. It runs till the end of this weekend to get a lot of the games you're seeing, hearing over the course of this convention at discount price. So, with all that said, thank you very much, all of you. We are now into They Came From Classified. For anyone unfamiliar, They Came From Classified is a movie parody game, would be a good way of putting it. And They Came From Classified is a game that leans heavily on James Bond, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., The Avengers, John Steed and Emma Peel, The Champions, Get Smart, all of these kinds of movies, even Austin Powers up to the other end. And it's a game that you have fun with. You can play it absolutely straight-faced. You can play it as silly as you like. And there's a strong meta plot element to it, or meta textual element, I should say, where you have powers called cinematics, which I will be introducing after the players have introduced their characters, that can be used to alter the fundaments of the universe that you are participating in. In previous They Came Froms, it might be something like a cheap set, where you want to get away from a villain. You don't have the weapon with which to do it, so you use the cheap set cinematic to literally elbow through the wall, it's paper thin, and run away. You might then use another cinematic that allows you to just plonk a speedboat in the water that you jump into and speed off in. So it's a game that plays like a movie that is being made on the go by, frankly, amateurs, but with hearts of gold. And so, with that said, that is They Came From. They Came From Classified, plays up 1960s, 1970s spy, espionage, fiction. And I'm now going to introduce you to the players who can introduce each other in turn after that so that it doesn't keep coming back to me. And they can just tell us who they are, what work they have done, what their work tends to be, and the character they are playing in this game. So I'm going to start with Hiromi. Hiromi, about you and your character.
Hi, I'm Hiromi Kota. They, them. I am the incoming creative lead for Scion. I write on a bunch of Onyx Path titles as well as other stuff. Generally, I make things more Asian and gayer. It's like two of my aspirations, two of the things that I'm good at. So I just do that constantly. And not just Asian, but just like more global, but especially Asian because that's what I know. That's what I do. I am playing the Widowmaker, who might be they, them, might be she, her, might be he, him. Master of Disguise.
And who would you like to introduce next?
I'll throw it to Barker.
Hello, everyone. My name is Barker, and I have written for lots of They Came From properties at this point for Onyx Path, and some other Mummy the Curse, and just a gamut, an array, one might say, of properties for Onyx Path, and have enjoyed co-developing Monsters from the Crypt with Matthew Dawkins, and just working with everyone here on just a number of very different things. And today I am playing Ramona Wright, she, her, who is the brilliant inventor of the agency. And she longs to impress everyone with her gadgets and just myriad brilliant inventions that are decades, if not centuries, ahead of their time. And I am going to introduce the one, the only, John Burke.
Actually, my dad's called that, so sorry. Not to contradict Mr. Barker, but yes, there are two, at least I know of. But the one he's referring to has written also for a load of They Came From games, which I will forever have etched upon my headstone, are the most fun you can have at a gaming table. So buy them. But also vampire, werewolfy things, different stuff. I'm all over the place. You can't get rid of me. I am ubiquitous. And I would appreciate it if you could all, having stopped at Gamut and Array, if you could post things like Leviathan, Smorgasbord, other things that mean a lot of stuff to improve Mr. Barker's vocabulary. And just as annoying and just as much of an impresario as I am, is my character, James Bonnery, who will be voiced as Sean Connery today. And he is an actor come agent, effectively, and he's very much pretending, shall we say. And he's a very fit guy, very strapping, very charming, excellent at operating vehicles, as he does in his roles, but possibly not as tough and not as butch and not as hard as his characters in his films make him out to be. But he very much likes to pretend they are. So, with all that said, I will move us on to the delectable, the delightful Kim Godwin.
Hi, I'm Kim Godwin. They Came From Classified's actually my first book. I'm under NDA for the other ones, unless I'm allowed to talk about the other ones I'm on. No?
Let's assume not.
Okay, it's like, please, no. But otherwise, I'm actually a Navy analyst, so I'm the outlier, I guess. I'm the actual intelligence person. But otherwise, I write the horror comic Salient Collegation. And today I decided to I'm playing Roxana Lepideva, who is an amnesiac super spy. So she's our operative. So this should be fun, doing stuff that it's not behind a desk. So looking forward to it. And of course, that leaves us with our friend Tyler Meddington.
Hello, I am Tyler. Eldritch Echoes Online. freelancer for Onyx Path on Mage and They Came. I also have a live show where we play way too many times a week on our channel, Onyx's channel, and Free League's channel. I will be playing Walter Pascal, brilliant detective who became disgruntled with the corruption in the French police. So here I am.
Gendarmerie, known for its corruption all the way down. The big cheese. He was corrupt to the point of mold. That's what drove you out of the force and into the arms of the agency. And in fact, it's the agency who you will work for. The agency who sent you on this mission to glamorous Positano on the Amalfi coast of Italy. Positano being a beautiful town of houses built atop houses into the walls of hills. It looks glamorous from the sea, but it has a nasty underbelly, or at least it does today, for today is the Rogues Gallery. The agency has sent all of you to the Rogues Gallery, and in fact, that is where our scenario begins. We are there at the Positano Romano Galleria, which is probably incorrect. I think it should be the Galleria Romano Positano, but it was not named by an Italian. It was named by its shadowy owner, its establishment, who all of you, and indeed the agency knows, are to be suspect, thoroughly roguish individuals. For the gallery is known for hosting the finest, the brightest, the most illicit of stolen fine art and jewelry. And it's always been hard to crack. But as our scenario starts, all five of you are already in. All five of you are already in, but you're not there to raid the place. That isn't your job. That isn't the job of the agency. You are not mundane police. You are there to look for what article is being sold at auction today for highest price, because the agency has some good intelligence, has very good intelligence that whatever is being sold is being purchased by a new player on the roguish scene. Is it one of the Russians? Is it from another bankrupt state? Is this someone working from a satellite or an underwater base? We don't know, but we will find out. You have two objectives, agents, and this is where we enter in flashback as you are gathered around the table of the agency, and your boss, big agent, is sat there, pipe hand. He clamps it between his teeth. Now listen here, agents. This is a very important nut to crack. Whatever's being sold at the Positano auction, there'll be a lot of things there, but whatever's being sold for the highest price is what we want to track. We need to know the seller, and we need to know the buyer. And that is a very important thing. Also, you have a submission to that. And your submission is as follows. One of the rogues that we believe will be in attendance there is going to be the ambassador of Medovia, Mikhail Makaradze. I believe you have had run-ins with him before, Lideva, although you may or may not remember them. Watch out. Makaradze is in league with all manner of dangerous forces. We believe he may be tied to Smersh. So, there may be other figures there that you know and who know you. Therefore, your methods of entry are definitely to be discreet. Don't let me down on this, agents. Any questions before you go? You know, times are ticking. I've got to be at the gentleman's club for my game of Baccarat and brandies. I've got my private helicopter waiting for me. The rotor's already spinning. No, I do love a group of silent agents. Silence is the pinnacle of the agency. Discretion, not even speaking to me. This is what got you to your level. Now be gone. Just don't even say goodbye. Go. I don't want to hear a word from you.
Well,
good.
He says as he gets up and leaves.
This office will self-destruct in 5. 4.
What? No! And you close the doors behind you. So I will say at this point that there are cinematics in play in this game of They Came From Classified. Our cinematics are convenient double agent. You could use this on big agent if you wanted, but it'd probably be a waste of a cinematic.
Do that early,
It costs one. Yeah, it costs 1 rewrite, and it will turn anyone in the scene, as long as they are not a major player, into someone who is secretly working for your side or the opposition. You have Daring Distraction. That's a 2 rewrite cinematic. You can use that cinematic to say, essentially, look over there. And you will say something is going on, and with the cinematic, whatever you say is going on will happen. So if you want to say, someone said a sheep into the gallery, a sheep will be trotting through the gallery. Do sheep trot? They do now. We also have Exit Strategy. Exit Strategy is a 1 rewrite cinematic, and as the name implies, it gives you a way out of any situation. It is, in a sense, your cheap set for Classified. Explosive Action, my favorite cinematic in Classified, is you take an action, you pin explosive action to it, and whatever it is, it blows up. No logic, no logical course, it just blows up. We have Just Looking for the Bathroom. Just Looking for the Bathroom is the perfect distraction. You don't have to use those words. You could say anything, but if you are cornered, if you're questioned, if someone says you're not supposed to be here, you can use that cinematic to get away with it without having to roll any social rolls to, I guess, bypass the guard. And then we have Protagonist Strength. Protagonist Strength is the most expensive cinematic we have in play. It's a 3 rewrite cinematic. And, well, Protagonist Strength is one of the most, in fact, expensive and important cinematics in the game, because it is what allows your character as a protagonist to basically declare all opposition around you, again, minus any major antagonists, as completely paper thin. You can Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando just go, "Rah!" and all of them will fly away from you. You don't have to roll. You could take a shot and your bullet will ricochet off a number of canisters and take all of them out at once. Essentially, every single one of them becomes a paper doll that you can storm right through. A faceless punching bag, I think, is how it is written in the book. So, which I guess is
writing that. That's great.
Yeah. I think that's arguably better than than a punching bag with a face. That's the kind of thing villains set up. So, my question to you, agents, is how you intend to infiltrate, or how you infiltrated, we already know you're there, the Positano Roman Gallery. You have all got in. What were your methods of egress and access? Let's start with, you may have gone in as a clump, but I imagine you all went in individually. So let's start with Tyler. How did your detective, Walter, gain access to this exclusive gallery, given that the agency wasn't kind enough to furnish you with any means of doing so yourself?
Private security.
So you can say they did.
Private security.
Private security.
They needed somebody to help protect the joint.
For the gallery itself, or for any of the guests?
For a very important unnamed guest. Probably a French one.
Very good. Well, that would help. So there you are in the lobby, checking coats and bags, and also checking faces and fingerprints, whether you're taking them from supervillains and they're prepared to give them. Most of them probably just give you the stink eye when you ask, but your security is what you've got to ask. Okay, and how about Kim? How does our amnesiac Roxana Ledeva, how did she get in?
She likely got in disguised as a buyer.
So she is dressed to the nines and examining the portraiture on display.
Dispassionately, yes. I've seen better.
Oh. And John, how about James Bonnery? How did Bonnery gain access to this exclusive villainous event?
Well, obviously the people on the door are great fans of his. And as he approached them, made quite a scene. And as people were flocking around him looking for autographs, he cunningly took one of them aside and with a quick wink and a hefty kiss and a chop to the back of the neck, made his way inside.
And that was just the valet outside.
Just some guy. Wasn't even guarded.
Can I take your car, sir? I'll take your bow tie.
James Bonnery, being a British agent, doesn't know the Italian for "Can I take your coat?" So thought the guy was threatening him, and that's it.
Yeah. Okay. And Hiromi, how did the Widowmaker make their access?
Widowmaker is the insurance representative on site, the one responsible for ensuring the provenance of the articles for auction.
Very good. And Barker, how did our inventor Wright gain access to the gallery?
So Ramona, who is played by an American actress who is playing an English character who is undercover as an American, is in the very, very back room. That she has set up the security systems in a especially exclusive room filled with especially exclusive items, vases and paintings. And so she is in the belly of the beast, you might say. Under
Very
the cover.
nice.
Maybe someone already took security, so I'll say that she is an expert in this, in everything being auctioned, and is appraising these items for value.
Wonderful. So here we are at the gallery, and there are some familiar faces. Some of you can recognize as Tyler, you are on security. Walter, you would recognize the Marshal, Vagarshak Petrosian, anywhere. He has been on the front of Time magazine, where he was incorrectly ranked as a general. Supposedly, the person who wrote the article was then assassinated. The stern-looking Armenian Soviet says, "I will not be giving you my fingerprint, but you can take my outer coat. I will be wearing my inner one with all the medals on it." And he whooshes off his coat and allows you to pick it up.
As the coat man lies in a heap behind the desk.
I take the coat and I say something in a terrible accent that is completely the wrong word in Russian, thinking I'm being polite and saying thank you.
He is flanked by half a dozen. They must be KGB. There is no way they can be anything but. They have the severe looks and short haircuts of people who are in the intelligence service of the Russians, and they are eyeing everyone up as if they may be a potential assassin. And let's be honest, in this location, they probably are. Widowmaker. You also see a familiar face, an operative, but not on your side. The Australian, known as Kang, or Kang the Roo is how he has been dubbed. Sometimes called the Cyborg for his cybernetic limbs. There seems to be more and more every single time you meet him.
I was about to ask how many hands he had.
More than he should. Kang, if Kang is present, you know Kang is a hired heavy. And if Kang is present, that means someone has him in their employ. And as much as you would love to take this assassin, this merc out, that is not part of your mission, license to kill or not. But that's the risk. If you can see Kang, it's possible he can see you. I have to say, John in our chat actually naming as Kang Laru. That would have been a much smarter way of naming him. He is just Kang the Roo. So that'll get changed in editing.
Our screenwriters didn't have time for that in the moment.
Why didn't you hire John Burke for this book? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
I only had so much cleverness that I was putting into these things.
But you can't see. Usually, Kang is on a pretty tight leash, and you can't see him anywhere. He's not hovering around anyone. He's not admiring the art. He sat in one of the chairs, looking impatient. His metallic fist to his chin, stroking his beard, and muttering Australian expletives. Struth, bloody hell, and you flaming galah.
I'll put a hand in his shoulder as I go past him and say, "Now everybody wants a rampus, mate," and just leave it at that.
And Bonnery, as you enter, likewise, you see someone you recognize. This is a rogues gallery after all, and this is someone whose casino you have attended before. It is Claudia Campari, known professionally as Claudia Las Vegas, one of the most well-to-do, successful gamblers and suspected to have ties to criminal elements, but never proved. The glamorous Campari is standing there with cigarettes in holder, examining a landscape piece that she turns to someone and says, "I think it's an original Turner. Went missing from the National Gallery 3 years ago. Don't know the thief, but very interested in being the buyer."
Is this person a friend of mine or just someone I know in passing?
You know her in passing. She would probably be happy to see you because actor's credit means gambling and she likes money.
Well, James will definitely approach her then.
In that case, she stops. She blows smoke in the opposite direction over the painting.
She's actually lighting his own cigarette at this point as well. Setting fire to the painting.
Can I help? And she pushes the cigarette in its holder towards yours to light end to end.
Oh yeah, he doesn't even take it out of his mouth. He just leans forward in a sort of bow. Why, thank you, Miss Campari.
I would recognize that face and accent anywhere. Mr. Bonnery, unless I am very much mistaken.
Today I'm going by Cond.
Cond? What brings you here and under a false identity? You've got nothing to hide, unlike some of the ne'er-do-wells in this place.
Well, I'm afraid there was quite a commotion at the door, so I thought I'd better go a bit more incognito than normal.
Well, there will be commotion here, of that I have no doubt. I must go and look at some of the other objects on display, but perhaps we will dock cigarettes again at some point today.
Oh, I'm certain we will.
And she walks off with her cigarette holder in mouth. Burgess Meredith style, but slightly more good looking. And who haven't we done at this point? Ramona, you are currently in the store, essentially, the vault, or close to it. The auctioneer is there, looking a bit nervous. You're new, aren't you?
Yes. Yes. You too?
Oh, no. Just not new to auctioning. Just new to this crowd. Mr. Kint. He puts his hand forward.
She takes it.
Now, I have to say, I thoroughly expect that someone is going to try and steal something. I mean, look at the people out there. So,
Wow.
just...
Really? No.
Oh yes, I know, and you can't get the security. They got a new man. I can't place his accent. Somewhere European, Central European, I suppose, on the door. But honestly, I suspect the number of KGB and other types wandering around here far outnumber any security I have. And I've just been brought in freelance. My point is, if someone comes in trying to steal something, we're insured. I'm not saying let them, but if they threaten to vaporize you or something like that, it really isn't worth your trouble. I have done auctions like this for people like this before, and being a hero gets you nowhere. I can tell you that. So as soon as shots start flying, I will be taking my paycheck and jumping into my speedboat and making my way out of Positano, because this is not worth dying for. Stolen goods, really, but the money's good. I hope you're being paid well.
Oh, sure. Out of curiosity, where's your speedboat?
Oh, of course. It's just down in the marina. It's the one called Lord Luck.
Oh. Well, perfect. Of course. I'm sure you have other obligations out with those thieves,
I do. And the auction must be starting soon. So keep your eye on things. You really don't look like you could put up much of a fight, so please don't try. Just, when someone comes in, if they look like they're bristling and no one is coming to your aid immediately, stand back. No one's going to report you. All of these goods are stolen anyway. Let's be clear about this.
She takes out her pad as he turns to go, and she writes down, she has the 2 objectives there. She adds objective 3, steal Lord Luck, as she resentfully gazes at his back as he walks away.
Well, being a thieves auctioneer can sometimes pay well. And then we have Kim and Ledeva, whose name I will pronounce differently each time. Ledeva. I think it would be Ledeva. You have always had problems with your memory. I mean, it's partly what defines you as an operative, as sometime assassin, as a reliable agent for the agency, is the fact that you don't have any of the baggage that a lot of the individuals here do. But here you are, as we mentioned earlier, dressed to the nines, dressed for a party, dressed for this auction, and a big American in a Stetson and shades indoors wades up to you, waddles up to you, strides, and holds onto his belt. Tax Apocalypse, how are you doing? My business is mainly guns and missiles and bombs. But sometimes, well, the wife likes to hang something pretty on the wall until she gets tired of it. Then I got to come back out here and buy something new. And that's why I'm here today. What brings you here, pretty lady?
I'm just looking to see if I find a new piece.
Well, you look lost. Who you with?
Myself.
I mean, who you with? Is it Stench? Is it Smirsh or the KGB?
A lady never tells her secrets.
Well, I can't hold that against you. I'm an independent contractor myself. Say, maybe after all the fun and games, we can settle down for a drink. I got a lot of money to put down. I can't think I'm going to spend it all on baubles and beads.
Well, I am recently widowed. I could look for another one.
Oh, really? I'm not. And, well, for my sins, I do love my partner. But, well, have to say, if you would like a drink with me, it would not go At a place, I like to discuss other business, and you look like a lady. I'm just not in a lascivious, that's a good word, way, examining the way you hold your arm. It looks like you know how to hold a gun, and I know a lot about guns.
Did you bring any of yours?
Why, yes, I did. Some of them are on sale right here at this auction. Unfortunately, they're at the very end, and usually bullets start flying before then. But the good news is, if you need a gun, they're out in the ute out back. What'll happen, by my estimation, is someone will get antsy and start firing whatever they have. That's when I make a beeline for the back door. I'll stand outside my utility vehicle, and I will say, roll up. If you want a gun, here's Tex Apocalypse to stack. It's small scale. It's market trading. Usually I'm a bigger deal kind of fella. If you got a line on nuclear or weapon, that's something I would really love to get a hold of one day. Ooh, something that really goes pop. But I don't have that on in here. You can't get those kinds of things into Europe these days.
Not easily.
I'm sorry, I can be a bit of a forceful personality. He actually spits on the floor. He doesn't have any chewing tobacco in his mouth, but he spits on the floor nonetheless.
Oh my.
I ain't the stereotype you think I am. Well, I guess I am. Anyway, there's nothing I can say to rebuke that mark I just made about myself. I'm going to sit down and start. And I wish you a pleasant day, young lady.
Yes, sir.
Russian accent, that's what I picked up on you. You should go speak to the marshal over there. He's always looking for a reliable Russian that knows how to hold a gun. He's not Russian himself, though. Armenian, very protective over that kind of thing. Anyway, I'm going to go sit down. And the gavel comes down on the pedestal. Order to the auction, please. Everyone interested in bidding on the stolen goods on sale at the Rogues Gallery, please take your seats. If you are standing at the back, I will, of course, take your bids as well. I would rather not get in anybody fights afterwards. Please reserve any violence until after the auction has taken place, so that we can get through everything at a speedy fashion. We will be dealing in denominations of dollars and pounds. I'm sorry to those of you who came here with rubles. As we know, not an international currency. There's a lot of grumbling from the Soviet contingent. So let's get started, shall we? And the auction starts in earnest. The first pieces that are being sold off, you get there's some portraits. There's a painting of Queen Victoria, an original painting of Queen Victoria. And a man that all of you present in the auction house area, and I should ask at this point, we know that Kim, we know that Hiromi, and we know that John, your characters are in the main atrium where the auction is taking place. Barker, are you remaining back in the vault?
Ramona is trying to find out what the most priceless artifact is and use one of her brand new gadgets to help track it.
Oh, okay. In that case, let's go for culture and intellect, please. As you survey various things in their secured cases, they are, of course, viewable, but they're behind reinforced glass and they are security locked. If you try and lift any, a mundane thief would find alarm bells going off and several gunmen running in.
Yes,
but you are not a mundane thief.
No.
Or indeed a thief.
Very uncultured. Ramona is examining these things. You were looking at the value of the frames and perhaps even just venturing guesses at the usual successes. Ooh. Succeed just barely.
Okay, so you think it's a split between two artifacts here, two items. There is a diamond called the Everest diamond. It has been mounted in a solid silver claw. You're not sure whether it was part of a scepter at some point or whether this was how it's always been presented. And the other one is labeled as the Saturn Sapphire. The Saturn Sapphire is on a velvet cushion, of course, and it really looks quite spectacular. You have heard of both through the grapevine, as uncultured as you are. The Everest diamond was a part of the Romanov collection, theorized lost during the Russian Revolution, and yet frequently turning up at these criminal auctions and changing hands every now and then, never being broken down or sold to a reputable buyer. So it's more of a reputation thing to own it than it doesn't really have worth. The Saturn Sapphire is actually a new find. It doesn't have much historical importance, but it was newly unearthed, and while it was being transported to a museum, the security van was raided. That wasn't long ago, about 6 months, and here it has turned up.
Okay, well, she is so intelligent that it must be the diamond that is the most valuable item. This sapphire has barely even seen the light of day. And so, if I may, and you can tell me how we could accomplish this now or later, she would pull out a vial of perfume and then add a mixture to it and shake it up. And she would spray herself with it. And then, while no one is looking, you said the diamond was in this claw. Is there a display case around it?
Yeah, they are both covered in display case, which has one viewable window and the rest is solid titanium reinforced.
Okay, well, outside in the auction room, someone who's wearing the special eyeliner, should this device work, would see through the wall the mark on Ramona's neck and shoulders of where she sprayed the perfume, despite the fact of the wall being there, almost like an X-ray vision. I wonder who. And
which of your compatriots do you think would be wearing that eyeliner?
I think it might be Widowmaker. I think, I think Widowmaker, it would be the one. The Widowmaker might distrust Ramona's inventions a little bit, though. So if that's the case, then I would go to Roxy, who's a closer friend to Ramona.
Why not both? There you go. And in fact, Bonnery too. Bonnery is wearing eyeliner.
He's extremely disappointed to not have his eyeliner on. Yeah.
Why not everybody? Is everyone wearing the eyeliner?
I feel almost naked without it.
Just get your eyes that pop.
Yeah. Okay. So you're spraying yourself and you're spraying the case of this diamond.
I'm going. Definitely, Ramona's going to lift the case and then spray the diamond.
Okay, if you're going to lift the case, let's go for a... it's going to be larceny, for obvious reasons. And unless you intend to disable any kind of security on it first, which I would say is technology, it would be technology and intellect. So that's all you'd need to do. Technology and intellect would allow you to disable any security on this occasion.
That is what she would try to do, yes. Wow, there's a lot of dice here. This is nice. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Remember, you've got rewrites.
Already, though? Okay.
Yes. Otherwise, we'll never use them.
It's
Okay.
time to make the diamond explode.
Oh, no.
I don't mean to create a emotional roller coaster for everybody, but I absolutely did not see this 0 on the D10. So that will be 2 successes here.
Well, in that case, luckily for you, I mean, it's not a massive number of successes when you're trying to disable high-tech security. So Yeah, you are able to disable the case, but that doesn't mean you're going to be able to smuggle it out of the room. Every single one of these items is essentially security locked to the vault and the auction room. If it goes beyond there without being cleared by Mr. Kint or any of the other personnel on hand here, and that doesn't include you, alarms will go off.
Okay. Well, using one of her devices in her watch, you hear a and then she lifts up the case, takes her perfume, sprays it, so anyone wearing the eyeliner sees the shape, the blue, bright blue shape of a diamond in the back room. And she lowers the case and thinks, "Oh, well, my job's done." And looks for the nearest
somewhere in
air
the back
vent.
of the room, a voice could be heard going, "Ah, sparkly."
Nice.
At that point, Mr. Kint pokes his head in and says, "Please get the diamond ready for auction." And Tyler, you're at the door.
Yes.
I assume you are staying at the door, but you tell me your security.
Staying at the door. However, I've gone through the marshal's overcoat, and if he has one, I've relieved him of his valet ticket. That'd be a handy getaway.
Excellent. Yes, you have that. You have the marshal's valet ticket. He will be unhappy, and he is a generally unhappy man as it is. Someone rushes in, slams the hand down. It's a woman, stern looking, hair in a top knot, built more broadly than you, in fact. Has the auction started?
I jump a little. Meride, yes. Why? Who are you? What do you want?
My name should be on the list. Emily Relish.
I checked the list, even though I'm not the door checker. After looking at it for a minute.
Has the auction started? You're saying yes, it has.
After looking at the list for a minute, though, I tell her, your name's not on here.
Her biceps and her shoulders bulge. Her neck then follows, the veins in it popping. What? My name isn't on the list. I booked in advance just because my damn boat arrived late because there was a different speedboat parked in my spot. You're going to not let me in. I swear I will squeeze your neck until your head pops.
Now, there's no need for that.
Mark my name on the list.
There's no need for that. We can get around this. I'll just need your fingerprints.
I'm not giving you my fingerprints. Do you know who I work for? I work for the chief, Abiola.
Do I know who that is?
Oh, yeah. A Caribbean drug lord. Emily Relish, you've heard the name. You've never seen her before. But she is known to be one of the heaviest hitting hench people in the world at this time. And now that her hands are gripping the other side of your concierge desk where security has somehow ended up, you can see she is breaking it off in her fingers. No fingerprints. I don't care if my name's on the register. I've got to be in that room. Oh, to hell with you. And she starts walking by. Take a shot if you like.
Nope, I let her go.
I'm glad you thought about it. And now we have at auction the Everest Diamond. There's a hush that falls across the auction room. The Everest Diamond, as we know, was once in the property of the fallen Romanov family. No tragedies there, of course. And we're all very excited to see what kind of figure that fetches. This one is going to be in pound sterling due to the current owner. That is their currency of choice. So let's start the bidding for this one on £100,000 sterling. Who would like to start the bidding, please? And there's a hand goes up from Claudia Las Vegas. To Miss Las Vegas. Okay, we'd like to start with Las Vegas. We're going to go up to 200,000 now. And so it goes. It goes between Vegas. It goes to another woman in the group. It goes to Tex Apocalypse, who occasionally smiles over at Ledeva. And he's pointing and he's saying, that was mine. The last arrival, there's only one name left on your register, is the ambassador, Makaradze. He has not shown up yet.
Okay.
And then the car screeches to a halt outside, and in he walks with yet more KGB goons. Makaradze, check my name off, and he walks straight past you.
Okay.
Excellent security.
We're saving all these up for the 30 minutes later earlier cinematic.
Yeah. For the bomb in the auction room cinematic. Makaradze makes a scene as he enters. Bam! Walks through the double doors, KGB flanking him. People turn around. Sorry, Ambassador Makaradze, please take a seat. We are just in the middle of the Everett. I can see what is being sold, Mr. Kint. Very good. We have just reached 500,000 to Mr. Tex Apocalypse. Is that your real name? Oh, very, very good. Are any of our agents participating in the bidding?
Roxy can harass them and just throw up a bid every once in a while. How much of a budget we got, we don't know. We're just going to go for it. We're not going to pay for it anyway.
Yeah. To the mystery woman over there, 750,000. We will have to take your name, of course, to make the sale, although you can make one up as long as you pay. And he keeps going around. The diamond reaches £2.5 million, which is quite a lot of money in the late 1960s. It's quite a lot of money now before the gavel comes down. And you can see Mr. Kint is clearly relieved that there were no gunshots. At this point, the winner of the diamond comes down to Tex Apocalypse. My wife will love it. Love it! I could put it... Where should I put it, doll? He shouts over at Ledeva. Mantelpiece above the moose's head. What?
No idea the Americans were so deep in this.
You could put it in your bedroom. Over your headboard.
I love it. I love it. Do I sign things now, Kent, or do I have to wait till the end? Oh, sign up now, because by the end, everything's going to blow up, I'm sure. Okay, I'm going through to the vault. Catch you at the bar.
Absolutely, my dear.
And Apocalypse makes his way to the vault with Kint. He ends up in the room with Wright. So you're the gal I gotta sign things over for, yeah?
She has, some paper. She just hands him a clipboard, and it's a blank sheet of paper. I assume she doesn't have the actual paperwork.
Well, this is peculiar.
Well,
that's fine. It's not like a contract or anything. I got it in cash. He opens up his duster and slams down the money in notes that pull out of his voluminous pockets. I think you'll find it's all there. I had to arm a small country to get that, so it is all there.
She looks at him suspiciously as she raises again, like some strange smoke billows out of the display case for some reason, and then there's the diamond sprayed with the invisible ink.
He picks it up, throws it quite casually. Smells nice.
It's lilac.
I gotta say, Dole, you need to watch out for Cyprus. They are bristling with guns now. Right. I'll be taking this. He just stuffs it in his pocket. The next auction begins. And it is for the Saturn Sapphire. Could I get from Hiromi, from the Widowmaker, let's go for, I think, you're surveying the room. We'll go for a double attribute roll. So we'll go for cunning and composure.
Successes.
You notice Kang has disappeared. He is not in the atrium anymore. Can I introduce you? Well, can I interest you in a drink, sir? Someone goes up to Bonnery with a glass.
Vodka martini, shaken, not stirred.
I am already aware, and that is what I brought you on your tray. Sir, I recognize you from the talking pictures.
Why, yes, of course. He'll take the drink. Please, have a seat.
Oh, I am just working here. I will not be permitted to sit down.
Oh, you'll be permitted if I request it. Have a seat.
I really must insist, sir. I have dreadful piles, and sitting down is not on the cards for me today. But thank you for your generous offer. It is not true what they say about Hollywood actors.
The dread of the mouthy hemorrhoids.
Yeah, and indeed, a lot of red meat.
Yes, too much pasta.
Yes. I do enjoy your drink, sir.
Was this drink sent by someone, or is it?
I'm sorry, I can't understand. Sent by... sent by someone.
Or was it just compliments of the house?
Yes, it was sent to you, Mr. Bonnery, paid for on the dime of Claudia Las Vegas.
Ah, Las Vegas. I do love being inside that place. And he'll take a drink of the martini and die of the poison. Yeah.
It was worth it for the martini and the anecdote and the innuendo.
Yes, indeed it was.
And Ledeva, you are getting some glares, you're noticing, from some of the KGB surrounding Makaradze and Petrosian. Petrosian shrugs and points a couple of them over towards you. The young woman gets into your face a little. Says, "Do I know you?"
Sorry, sir. I've never met you before.
Sir? It is very presumptuous of you. I think I do know you. I am fairly certain we both trained together in Yekaterinburg.
Sorry, I don't know you.
She goes to punch you in the stomach. Do you try to block or dodge, or do you take the blow?
I don't think I want to get hit, so I'm going to try to dodge.
Okay. Athletics and dexterity, please.
So, 5. Let's see if this actually works. And I have 2 successes.
Okay, that's better than her single success. So you dodge out of the way. I knew it was you. Only someone trained in Yekaterinburg would anticipate my stomach blow. You are an agent and not one of ours. Marshal, this woman is an interloper.
What?
Marshal Petrosian gets up and he starts walking out, KGB flanking him. I'm too old for that agency bullshit, he says. We are watching you, she says, and starts backing away.
Right.
She nods to the KGB droogs hanging around Makaradze. They nod. And now they are literally just watching you.
Hey, I'm just here. Just minding my own business.
And now the Saturn Sapphire, one of the most opulent jewels we have on sale, and the last jewelry bid before we get onto Tech's Apocalypse's weaponry deals. Lots of bundles on sale via Drive-Through Guns. That's the name of his company. And I understand a portion of it is going to a charity in Cyprus. So... registered on the Turkish side. Tex Apocalypse wanted me to note. So let's get to it then. So the Saturn Sapphire, we'll start the bidding. Let's start optimistically at 1.5 million. Oh, hands shoot up. Oh, only one of you at once, please. Okay, so first bid goes to Ambassador Makaradze. Very nice. Okay, and it starts going around, and the bidding starts going up. And up and up. The waiter parts ways with you, Bonnery. I must get back to the bar.
Limping as he goes with his chronic hemorrhoids.
Yes. Walking as if he has rickets. Kang has not shown up again, Hiromi.
Well, given that there's a buzz around the room at this point, James is going to kind of just calmly take his drink and sort of move to the rear quarters. Everyone else is kind of focused on the front. So I'm just going to watch the action from the back and see if I see anyone moving in or out or doing anything suspect.
Okay, could I ask for, let's go for cunning and composure from you as well, please.
As we await roll 20, here we
The
go.
auction gets as high as £3.5 million. Oh, sorry, dollars in this case. We are now in dollars.
Canadian dollars. 2 successes.
The most illicit kind of dollar, the
Yes.
Canadian
Bye.
dollar.
Not Australian dollars, or Kang would be in there. Just 2 successes.
Not worth the paper they're printed on. Two successes to see what's going on. Okay, so things that you notice. Makaradze looks quite animated about this auction. He clearly looks very keen to purchase this Saturn Sapphire for some reason, but he's not the only one. You can also see that Claudia, your friend, is bidding casually on it as well. And yeah, there's an interest from around the room, but Makaradze is definitely the man to watch.
And he turned up just as it was coming out, so yeah, it does seem suspicious. Is Claudia someone that I would think would have this kind of money to chuck about, by the way? Like,
not without a wealthy patron.
Yeah, so she's probably a front for someone else. He takes note of that.
You can also see the heaving, red-faced, sweaty Emily Relish in the corner, who galloped in during the previous auction, and she is looking around angrily for some reason, and all of you can see this.
Her bright red face and popping veins now looks very much like her namesake.
Yes.
That one.
But the last, you see the waiter go by. He passes by Makaradze and makes his way back to the bar and gives you a nod. Goes over to Claudia Las Vegas and gives her a nod and ducks behind the bar. $4.5 million. Is anyone going to up this to 5 million? Even you can hear this in the back room now, right? And at the front of House Walter, you can hear because Mr. Kint is getting excited. $5 million for the Saturn Sapphire, stolen only 6 months ago. Just think, this item stolen for nothing is going to earn the person selling it $5 million or more. Anyone would like to increase that to 5.5 million? Do I have any bids? Any bids? At which point Makaradze puts his hand up and then goes, and a Zoom thinks I'm playing music when I'm doing that, by the way. It's asking me to set up professional audio. And smoke starts emerging. At the Rogues Auction, selling 7 sapphires. And smoke starts billowing out of Makaradze's mouth and nose, like as if it were some kind of dragon. And then out of his ears, almost comically, as he falls to the ground, his face bright red. Emily Relish runs up to him and grips him, trying to do something. The room is quickly filling with smoke. Right. Ramona, right. Not me just saying right. The door to the vault smashes open. Struth, I didn't think anyone else would be in here. This is from the back way. You can see Kang. If you bloody move, he points his metallic fist at you. I will render your skull to paste, you flaming drongo. You've been warned.
Part of Kang has been played by Alf Ramsey. Fantastic.
From Home and Away.
You
flaming mongrel.
She puts her hands up and just pretends that she knows nothing about anything. She just backs into the corner with the perfume bottle in the hand.
And Mr. Kint, as this is the signal that something is going horribly wrong, picks up the sapphire and starts backing his way into the vault as people start standing up, pointing, shouting, casting aspersions at each other. I'm now going to ask everyone around the building what they are respectively doing. Let's start with Walter, who is at the front of the building. You hear the gargled scream of Makaradze, and you can see the smoke actually filling the building. It's pouring out of him.
A lot of supervillains here. I go through the coats hoping for a gas mask.
Yeah, that's thinking. You know what? I like that. I like that a lot. That we don't have a cinematic for it, but if you want to spend one of the team's rewrites, I will let you find a gas mask.
If the team is good with that, yes.
All right, we are down to 4 rewrites. You strap a gas mask onto your face. A lot of security are grabbing their guns at this point and moving to the door. They look to you, confused to see that you have a gas mask on. So, grab your gun. You're supposed to man the door. Oh, sorry, it's Italian. Grab your gun. You're supposed to man the door.
I say indiscernible things in French because I'm wearing a mask. And pull my gun out.
C. And we go to we go to Kim. The Devil. What is Roxana doing upon seeing this bizarre event?
Let's see. So she's gonna need something to block the gas. So she'll probably, since there's drinks around, she'll probably throw some water on a piece of cloth because she doesn't have a gas mask in this dress. She might have a gun holstered.
Almost certainly.
Appropriately and interestingly. But there's gas filling. So she'll probably, she sees that Ramona's like, something's going on with Ramona. So she'll go towards the back to help her friend get out of a bad situation.
Okay. So you make your way toward the vault, which is also the direction Mr. Kint is heading in. Bonnery.
Well, Bonnery thinks that this is both a convenient distraction and smokescreen, and probably a way to get everyone to not look at something else. So he doesn't look at the thing that's going on that's very obvious and all the smoke kicking about. He will sort of swan his way back towards the front of the room. He's going to keep an eye on Las Vegas as he does so, because he suspects that her patron's hand may be behind this. How she's reacting is interesting too.
Las Vegas has a gas mask, you notice. It's just a small one. She puts it to her nose and mouth, a little respirator.
Well,
when she sees you, she gives you a little wave.
I'll walk straight up to her and say, smoking or non-smoking?
Oh my God.
Do excuse me, Mr. Bonnery, I seem to have a little gas. And she starts walking her way into the back of the bar where the kitchen would be. She doesn't turn you away, doesn't beckon you to follow, but she seems quite happy to leave.
Yeah, I think I'm going to see where she goes. I take it I see the other people beelining for the vault, so I'm going to see where she goes. Plus, he may be a Scottish sort of braggart who likes to claim he's much tougher than he is, but he also knows where his skill set truly lies, and if we're needing a getaway driver, let's face it, it's probably me. So I'm going to go with her, see where she goes, and possibly see about getting down to steal some kind of vehicle at some point.
Okay, and how about the Widowmaker?
Widowmaker was near the auction stage, because that's where the person handling provenance usually hangs out. So if someone hasn't already stolen the Saturn Sapphire, Widowmaker is.
Well, Mr. Kint is carrying the Saturn Sapphire back into the vault right now, where Kang is stood basically in the doorway, or just beyond the doorway. I'm going to say the Widowmaker, as you are so close to the stage and you are keeping your eye in that direction, you can see Kang right there. You think he's about to club Kint, and, well, you've had run-ins with Kang before. He doesn't always pull his blows. So you could say to hell with Kint and just grab for the sapphire from his hands, or you could do your best to stop a bludgeoning. You are the Widowmaker, however, and you don't know if Mr. Kint is married. I'm the collateral Widowmaker. By law of averages, I am a Widowmaker.
I am the worst wingman ever. I am depriving your future wife.
So, Widowmaker, what's your action?
Is there like a hallway beyond the vault?
Yes. There is a security hallway. You need a card to get in and out. Ramona Wright has a forged card for getting in and out. The rest of you do not. The rest of you came in through the front. But that is how you can get to the stores and the service car park. Also where Tex Apocalypse has his ute.
In that case, I'm going to... I guess this is like a complex action. What I'm going to accidentally stumble forward into Kint, grab the sapphire, chuck it past Kang and under the door, shouting as I'm going, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh no, the sapphire's gone over there."
Oh, very good. You are using our cinematic. So yeah, you're using the cinematic of Daring Distraction.
Yeah.
So we are down to 2 rewrites. Well, that has an automatic effect. You don't need to roll for that as you're using your cinematic. You do successfully bump into Kint, knock the sapphire and its crate, essentially, its titanium crate, from his hands. And it crashes to the ground and somehow skids between Kang's legs and back toward the hallway which is behind Ramona Wright. And Kang and Kint both look around. Of course, the cost of using this cinematic is everyone else looks at, as you explain, that's where the Saturn Sapphire goes. So even Bonnery stops going into the bar just to look.
I sense a great disturbance in the force.
And Kang throws Kint toward you. In response, he just hurls him. You basically get Kint in your face, and Kang turns on his heel and says, "Flaming hell!" and starts barreling his way back towards Ramona Wright and where the Sapphire case is. So, Ramona Wright. Kang is barreling towards you, although he doesn't seem to be paying any attention to you, the cyborg Australian known for his lethal touch.
Well, it's a shame. He's going to be a bit surprised when he's barreling towards nobody, because Ramona Wright has used her exit strategy, and you see the air duct vent reattach itself to the wall as she had access to the Sapphire, correct?
Yeah. It was it just skidded past you. So if you want to grab it,
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that's what she would grab it, and now she would want to crawl through the air vent with the Sapphire in her grasp.
Where's she bloody gone? Where's the Sapphire? Jesus!
Can someone guide me through this labyrinth?
So, and don't forget, everybody, you have quips as well that will add to your dice rolls when you need to make them. Walter, you are now getting a lot of criminals heading in your direction toward the front door. And currently they are penned in by security who are pointing guns in their direction. Tech's apocalypse boomed. "You all get the hell out of our way, or I swear we'll render you to dust." You don't look like an Italian. You can speak English.
Do I speak Italian, though?
You can, yeah, why not?
Okay.
You're a well-versed Mediterranean detective.
And more importantly, even if you couldn't, would he know?
I will attempt to provide more of a distraction for my compatriots by conveniently placing myself near something thick that I could duck behind, and then yell, "Oh my god, he's pulling a gun" in Italian, and fire my gun into the floor and see if I can get them to kill each other.
So you're the detective, not the provocateur, but...
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we don't have the rewrites for you to use daring distraction. So do you have a quip to that effect, or would you just like to roll a persuasion and presence?
There's always a body.
Manipulate.
That's not what that quip's meant for, but I'm using
Quip,
it.
yeah.
Oh, well, you could say he's opening fire. There's always a body.
Yeah.
I'm making it right now.
All right, that means you get your bonus die. Let's see whether you're successful on your persuasion and manipulation, or persuasion and presence. I'll let you choose. Lyman Stone the Crows.
All the birds are on fire, that's what we know.
4 whole dice. 3 successes, though, because I got a 10. So.
Oh!
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Well, that means that's excellent, because that means you not only get to keep your quip, but you got several successes. You can take directorial control over this particular scene, specifically the one in the lobby. How do you want it to go?
I don't want Tex to die because he's fun, but I want...
He's only an arms dealer, arming Cyprus and other island nations.
He could be useful too, though, in the sequel.
He's a romanceable NPC.
That's also
Yeah.
true.
Fortunately, yeah. With his belt buckle, yeah, and his hat.
Yeah. His belt buckle is a power cord. that isn't done up.
It's got a very big belt buckle. Yeah.
Yeah.
The exception of him and myself, the exchange of gunfire ends up hitting the coat rack where undoubtedly something explosive is, causing the whole front of the building to disappear.
Well, explosive action is a 2 rewrite cinematic. You've only got 1 rewrite, so you
No,
are going
we
to
won't
need
do that
to
then.
have to fail. But given that you can take directorial control, you can have everyone just open fire and gun each other down.
That works too.
Except for Tex Apocalypse, who
Except
goes,
for Tex Apocalypse.
"Yay!" And yeah.
He doesn't
don't
have a
think
bulletproof Stetson?
He probably does, but he would still hold on to it. It's his
Just pulls it all the way down
Texan
over his body.
inclination.
Just pull it down, yeah.
It was invented by his own quartermaster. He bought it off this Ramona Wright woman at some point. Okay, so yeah, there's a sudden assault of gunfire from the, shall we say, touchy Italian security, who are frankly tired of being pushed around by these criminal elements at every single auction. This happens every time. And the KGB, who just want to get out, and especially now that their ward, Mikhail, is a smoking ruin, they fire back. The end result is Walter, you are the only security left standing, and Tex Apocalypse, with his hat drawn down over the rest of his body, is the only super criminal left standing. Well, I do love some gunfire. He stands up, puts his hat, adjusts his hats. Hey, Case, who arms these fools? He can't see you behind the desk. He tips his hat back to the auction house and struts out. Remember, if you want another rewrite, you can choose to fail any roll and see what happens. So, Kim, Roxana.
There's chaos everywhere.
It is. The room is so filled with smoke now you can barely see the other side of it.
Let's see. So I can see with the glowy stuff that Ramona has absconded.
You can see that Ramona has absconded, but you can't see that Ramona has absconded with the diamond, because that was the jewel that she perfumed. So you can see that the diamond is being absconded with out the front of the building because it is currently in Tex Apocalypse's jacket.
His 4,000-gallon hat.
It's like, well, we're not supposed to steal the diamond. We were just supposed to see who bought the highest.
I know it.
So it's like
It's
accomplished.
It's remarkable, isn't it? When you put people in a heist situation, even if they're not supposed to participate in it, they still steal.
She stole the other. Well, I don't know that she stole the thing that actually sold for the highest bid. So she's going out that way. So she's okay. So. I can't see otherwise because I don't have specs, but so I guess I can try to just get out.
Okay. Could you make an integrity and stamina roll, please? Well, let's go for integrity. Yeah, integrity and stamina.
Let's see. All right, so I have 3 successes.
3 successes. Lovely. Okay. The gas is getting to the back of your throat now. It's got a rather unpleasant organic taste to it. It's very acrid, but you don't breathe it in. You're able to hold your breath. You're trained in this kind of environment. You make your way through the fog, and you're making your way towards the front of the building, I understand.
Yes.
Okay, in that case, Walter, you can stand up from behind the desk just as Roxana is making her way by you. And viewers newly arrived, thank you very much. They came from Classified, one of the newest of the They Came From games, spy movie, spy media, and right now the heroes have just stolen the most expensive article from an auction house when they were just supposed to be finding out who was selling it and who was buying it. So let's see how the rest of this goes.
A lot of dead Russians.
Yeah, there are a lot of dead,
Dead
Russians.
Russians.
A lot of dead. Yeah, we can't assume that all KGB are Russians, but at the very least, there's a lot of dead Soviets. So, Bonnery, you are making your way, James Bonnery, you're making your way into the kitchen.
Yes, indeed. There's a leather in my camera for some reason. So angry.
You enter the kitchen, and Las Vegas is there with her respirator. Oh, Bonnery.
He's still got his martini at this point.
Always so interested in the truth, aren't you? I'm glad you're enjoying that drink. Please do an integrity and stamina roll, Bonnery.
Unless you want to fail it for the rewrite.
Yeah, you could choose to fail and get a rewrite.
Dramatic death.
What was it? Integrity and stamina.
Yeah, don't worry, Mr. Bonnery. It's not going to kill you. I just need you rendered unconscious for a while. But before you pass out, she says, I will tell you something. My employer would dearly love to work with you again. And well, when you come to, maybe you should seek me out, and we could get together.
He's going to down the rest of the drink and then use his quip. Oh, is that the best you've got? And as he says that, I am indeed going to choose to fail. He's like, is that the best you've got? He's still in pose, the glass unbroken in his hand. With a smile
don't have the budget
All right,
for
we're back.
glasses.
Yeah. We're back up to 2 rewrites as Claudia Campari, Las Vegas, makes her way out of the scene. Widowmaker now. So Kang is raging in the vault. Kint is in your arms. You could just drop him if you want. That's a free action. Help me! You, of course, through your technologically superior eyeliner, can see that your colleague, Ramona Wright, is sneaking away through the ventilation shaft. Either that, or she has just decided to start crawling for some reason that you can't discern.
She's decided to start crawling mid-air somewhere.
Well, she is a bit strange, some of her inventions.
Perfume is remarkable.
Kang shouts out, Widowmaker! I thought I recognized you. You change your face, but you never change your veil. But if James Bond can go up introducing himself as James Bond, you're behind this, aren't you? He stalks towards you.
Behind what? There's at least 5 things going on that I've been keeping track of.
Listen, we've got unfinished business, haven't we? He puts his titanium fist into his bare hand. At some point, I'm going to replace this one as well. Maybe today's the day. We're going to have a punch-up.
Are you asking me to remove your other hand?
Listen, I've not forgotten that you're...
weirdest flirting that I've received in the past 30 minutes.
Proposal, yeah.
Do you want to turn this into a flirtation?
He's asking you to take his hand. You know, it's pretty intimate right now.
Kang. I've been keeping an eye on you. Come.
What?
Let's dance. That's not innuendo for a fight. That's me actually asking you if you want to dance in the smoke. It's quite a memory.
I'm fairly certain that stuff's toxic. I'll stand back here in the vault if it's all the same to you. But by all means, you can do a manipulation. Let's see, persuasion and manipulation to see whether you can lure Kang into dancing in the smoke in what would be the most bizarre, strange love-like scene. of, yes, it's a toxic gas cloud. Let's ballroom dance through it.
You'll never forget it.
That's true. That will be the last thing he remembers.
3 successes.
Oh, okay. All right. You know, you say I'm not a smooth talker, but maybe I can find information out a subtle way. And he puts his arms out. And are you dancing with him?
His dancing is so bad, he's like, talk, damn it.
I can't keep up this posture. This is an unusual scene. Especially given that there is no music. Suddenly, there is music in the background.
The ambient music from the soundtrack is now playing dramatically.
Yeah.
Gunshots.
You're going to talk, aren't you? The reason you wanted me to dance is because you know you can't take me in a fight. Not again. 2 times in a row? That's unlikely even for you.
It's true. I would have to have rigged something up in the atrium where we're dancing, like perhaps a safe above your head that I would release. But of course I wouldn't release it now. That would just be rude. You're my dance partner. You just have to look up.
He's a coyote.
He pretty much is. He taps his head. Skull's titanium as well. Safe landing on my head isn't going to do me any harm. Listen, where's your friend taking the set and sapphire? And he leans down. I promise when I take it from her hands, I won't make it hurt. And he pulls you back up.
Well, let me answer a question with a question. Who hired you?
Okay, I'm going to ask at this point, if you've got a quip, you'll probably want to use one. And so this is going to require
one good turn deserves another.
Ooh, very appropriate. Yes, and you spin him. You take the leading role in the dance and pirouette Kang with his titanium hat. It goes against his macho Australian sensibilities, but let's go for it. So persuasion, and I think, well, presence or manipulation work, so whichever one you prefer. So the people in the comments right now who are saying this is the point the director lost control and the producers wanted a musical number. I think if you've seen the Orson Welles, David Niven, not Orson Welles, he's Never Say Never Again, the David Niven, Peter Sellers Casino Royale, this is actually fairly on point to have a dance number, or Austin Powers even. But yes, still, I think the director left at this point. How did you do, Hiromi? 5 successes.
Oh my gosh. Probably use a stunt here.
That'll do it.
Yeah, you could use a stunt. To be honest, you could use a stunt to not only get the information from him, but also knock him out.
Do it.
If you want. Yes, of course.
I was going to
this
grab
time
something from my stunt, but I'm like, no, that's better. I'll just.
Okay. So he divulges and he says, working for a new player in town. They call him the Eyebrow. He has some aquatic base off of Malta. Is that how you say Malta? Malta. I don't know. Malta. That island off of Italy. He's a well-paying to-do kind of a gentleman. Got a base shaped like an octopus. But here's the trick, he says, letting you lean him down in the ballroom pose. It's underneath an oil rig. No one can see it. So now that you've got him basically bending over backwards, how are you going to render him unconscious?
I kissed him with poisoned lipstick.
Oh my.
Oh. He says, "Yeah, you flaming meta, hurry!" And he passes out. Walter, you've been able to see this bizarre display. In fact, it's probably not the most bizarre thing you've ever seen the Widowmaker do. And yes, Kang is rendered unconscious in the lobby, which takes us to Ramona Wright. Ramona, you are shuffling and shuffling along the ventilation shaft with your sapphire. Have you extracted it from the titanium case at this point, or are you trying to take a secure case with you?
I'm trying to take the secure case with me. I think maybe I'm shoving it in front of me towards the exit of this vent, which I assume happens to be, I mean, obviously it would be at the marina. That's where this...
You'd think, but first, there's a very fast spinning blade that you come up against. And because we've moved into 80s movies now, it's pitch black in the ventilation shaft, but there's a light directly on the other side of the spinning blade. Right. So your face is lit up and lit up. Mm-hmm. Vroom, 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 vroom. Just on the other side of that, you think you could make it to the marina. But how are you going to get through?
Is this going to be stupid or smart? It's going to be stupid. Okay, so she will...
it's going to be stupid.
Right, listen. First of all, she activates another dial on the perfume bottle, and a Viennese, we'll say Viennese waltz, starts throughout the entire room just too late, just after the dance ended. And then she had twisted again to the actual setting, and she's going to let loose... if this concoction works as intended, it will let loose a freezing mist that will freeze the fan blade in place that she might kick and smash it through.
Ooh, very nice.
This is a very fickle concoction. This alchemy.
Yeah. Sometimes it speeds blades up.
Mm-hmm. But she does say
makes them sharper. You could sell them on the Home Shopping Network as you spray this on a blade. You don't need to sharpen it again. You'd get Kang to do it. You don't need to sharpen it again. You just spray your blade, sharpens it in an instant.
Yeah. Yep. You're not sure if this sentence the Freon or the WD-40. You don't know which one it was.
Yeah, and to be honest, getting the guy with the titanium hand to advertise your sharpening spray, it was so sharp it cut my hand off. Just ask the Widowmaker.
She's going for the award winner here. This actress has been really working towards this line, practicing this one line in the mirror over and over and over again in her trailer. And she says in her British accent, English accent, no, it's, what year is it? It's all British, right? Accent.
We all speak the same.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Just ask John.
Well, don't ask me, for God's sake. Don't do that.
I think.
Sorry, Barker.
I'm not going to ask.
No. What were you saying, Barker?
She says calmly into the camera, "I have something for exactly this occasion." And she rolls one extra die for using her quip, if the other writers agree. Yes. She twists, she sprays. Yeah. It's like a fire extinguisher shooting out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total successes. She sees the Oscars before her, almost like mirages before her eyes.
Well, Golden Globes, but
all right.
Saturn Award maybe, but yes, the fan grinds. It doesn't even grind to a halt. It just stops. The device has stopped, and you can, with a firm blow, just shatter that metal.
She actually, because the case that's holding the sapphires in front of her, she leans back and she kicks the case through the fan. So the case with the sapphire will tumble outward into whatever room lays beyond the fan.
The guy with the flashlight behind it's like, oh!
improvised bludgeoning tool. Yeah, go for it. Just launch it.
Yeah.
I
There was I like that. There was a security guard with a torch who was saying, "What's that noise in the ventilation shaft?" He gets knocked out by the titanium case that clatters into his head. And you are out into
He was my
marina.
biggest fan.
If only Bonnery were here. So
I'm assuming there's
you
a
are
headset.
out.
All those one-liners are happening in the headset, the global headset.
Everyone, we can bring the auction house to a close now. You have escaped with the Sapphire. Las Vegas is nowhere to be seen. Walter and Roxana, you ultimately find an unconscious Bonnery in the kitchen. And Widowmaker, do you take Kang prisoner, or do you leave him to stew in his own juice?
I'll leave him with a black rose on his chest.
Very nice. Very nice. He will crush it and go, Widowmaker! In about 4 hours when the poison wears off. Christ, I need a can of Foster's right now. And he raids the bar.
I can see the pub from here.
Sorry to any Australians watching at this inclement hour for the insult done to your people. The five of you, did you take the Lord Luck yacht?
That's not up to me. I'm dozing.
No, that's up to Ramona Wright. So basically, as everyone pours out carrying Bonnery between them, essentially, if it were a car, it would be going outside the front door and a get in. As it is, it would be a yacht going get on.
And it's lower than the third story where the exit for the auction is, so people would have to jump down onto it. But yes.
Very nice. Maybe even a bit of bouncing off of a canopy.
I'll just climb on top of me and slide me down a chute of some kind.
Okay, so now is the time to plan. You can radio back into Big Agent if you want, or you can make a plan to go ahead. Right now, all you know is that there's a new mastermind in town called the Eyebrow. That Kang was working for him, and it's quite possible that Vegas was as well. For whatever reason, Makaradze was murdered. Was it intentional? Was he just an unfortunate distraction? What you do know is if the Sapphire was at the heart of this, you have it in your possession, which puts a target on your back. What is so important about this Sapphire? There is one person you know who knows a lot about jewels and their use in modern and even future technology. It is a former agent, now retired, living on the Isle of Capri, known as Fanny Aplenty.
So let that simmer.
You're right, John.
I'm getting there.
It could have been worse. I was discussing, I was ruminating earlier how to make a pussy galore. But yeah, Fanny Aplenty is what we're going with. So you could find out more about the Sapphire, but you also know of this mastermind's base in the Mediterranean.
Famous donut maker, of course, Fanny Aplenty.
Yes. At one point, it was Fanny Abundance, but I didn't think that sounded like a real surname, unlike Aplenty or Galore.
That's not even an oblique reference to it. It might have just been Alora Minge or something like that. I mean,
Anyhow, What all our super spies are together on Lord Luck, the yacht you have requisitioned from the auctioneer.
Walter would probably want to go get information because he's a detective.
We should know what we're getting into before bullets start flying.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially if we have the thing that he wants. So we could set up a trap once we figure out what it's for. There might be like codes or something inside of it.
It's still in the case too. And now it's centered on the table inside. I don't know, maybe there's a billiards table in there that everyone is around looking at it.
You have marked the felt, Ramona Wright, with a titanium case. Luckily, it's unlikely Mr. Kint will complain. He doesn't know where his yacht is. So you're making your way to Capri. There's a swooping shot as the yacht tears through the Med towards the enchanted Isle of Capri, where the celebrities doth hang and retired royals make their mansions. It's also a popular tourist destination, very warm, very pleasant, quite picturesque as you go through the blue waters and dock up, and you know where Fanny Aplenty lives. You she runs a bar.
You bet I do, darling.
She runs a bar, Fanny's Bar, and you can make your way there.
The Kaz Bar, that's what it should be called. And it's always
let's just rename it the Kaz Bar. It's called the Kaz Bar now. So you're making your way. Are you bringing the sapphire with you?
Well, if we're showing it to the expert, presumably, then yeah.
Yeah, I would hope
Okay.
so.
Yeah.
The bar is a popular hangout for jaded celebrity types, and so it's busy even on this sunny summer afternoon. People sitting outside, sipping their Peronis and expensive cocktails. Good old Fanny is sat in the corner where she likes to hold court, telling stories about mostly classified missions, but takes the names off, so it's all fine. Fanny is someone very comfortable with retirement. She's eased into it, you could say, and likes to hold court, sitting at the end of the bar, glass always filled or half filled, never empty. And she recognizes some of you from dealings before. I would say almost certainly she recognizes the Widowmaker and Ledover as fellow agents, whereas Walter is more rough round the edges. Ramona is usually a backroom style tech. And then you've got Bonnery, who is, let's be honest, just an actor. But lots of celebrities see Bonnery. Bonnery, have you retired now? We were just saying how we thought you probably should.
No. Unlike yourself, I'm only here for the Fanny.
Oh, she says, raising her glass. Roxana, darling. Widowmaker, sit down. Have drinks. To what do I owe this uninvited pleasure?
Fanny, so we have something that that we thought you'd be interested in. Besides
Really?
Mr. Bonnery, yeah.
Mr. Bonnery, she looks him up and down. Indeed.
Mesh up plenty.
Mr. Bonnery, I may have drank a bit too much because you are a complete blur to me right now. There you are. I must be seeing double.
Good shot.
4 Bonneries.
So this is the famous Kaz Bar. I've heard the Sharif doesn't like it.
That's right. That is quite right. He does not. He does not. And what have you brought me? And who is this rough gentleman? She looks at Walter. Do you often frequent Mediterranean countries in a Mac and a Trilby?
Takes off his hat, looks at it. Yes.
Oh, you look like you're straight out the pages of a noir, a Raymond Chandler novel.
Thank you? Question mark.
I get to do a lot of reading now that I'm retired forcibly, I should add. It wasn't a choice. It wasn't a choice, but they eventually put you out, send you off to market, as it were. I was lucky to land on my feet here. Anyway, what is it that you have to show me?
Yes. So it's a nice bauble and just newly acquired. So it may be a little bit too scandalous to show out here in public.
Oh,
So
come
maybe-
back to my boudoir. Ooh, the name of our game has changed to Monarchies of Mao. You are now all cat.
Wow.
She takes you through to her boudoir, which is it's appointed far better than her bar. A lot of her old relics of service in the intelligence service are there on the walls. Guns, medals, photographs of her shaking hands with David Lloyd George, that sort of thing. God, she is getting on a bit, apparently. And let's think, who else? Herbert Hoover. So, what have you got for me?
Is Ramona still holding it?
I would assume so. Oh, I didn't see you down there. You're a very quiet one.
My instruments speak for me. She tries to be suave and cool and collected like Widowmaker or Roxy, but just stumbles over her own words, almost tips over the sapphire, but brings it up before everyone, and then seclutes herself back behind the other stars.
That's quite a gem. How did you come upon this?
Just found it at auction.
I'm sure you did. Would this be the Positano auction that was taking place earlier today? No, I keep my ear to the ground. You know, I like these kinds of things. So let me get my hands on it. And she cradles the sapphire. She whips out a lens, holds it up to the light. And who was interested in this article?
The eyebrow.
The eyebrow, you say? I can see why. The dimensions of this sapphire are perfectly equilateral. There aren't many gems like it. Perfectly formed, geological miracle, I imagine some people would call it. Fallen from the ground in like an apple from a tree, you know, grown both sides, perfect symmetry. Yes, this could be a wonderful article on someone's pillow, but I'm guessing that's not why the eyebrow wants it. I assume you want to know.
Oh, yes. Any information that you'd be willing to share would be greatly appreciated.
You could put a good word in with Big Agent.
I'm sure he'd love to see his Fanny again.
And I would love to show him. All he has to do is come down to my Casbah. And anyway, yes.
Now we know why it's.
Do you know anything? So you're the technologist, I assume, young woman.
Ramona looks around and seeing no one behind her, nods.
Do you know anything about lasers?
I'm insulted by your lack of craftsmanship. Of course I do. That's a quip.
Oh, don't be insulted. I just don't know how smart or stupid you are. If one were to fire a laser and a jewel like this, it could splay off in 100 different directions. And if one were well trained enough in firing said lasers in such high-tech weaponry, one could hit multiple targets. Now, you may be thinking, if it's just held in your hand, how much damage can it do? The question is, how much damage can it do from, let's say, the sea or even higher up in space?
Where's Tim Curry when we need him? He's go, space!
Well, how many sides does it have? Because that's going to determine how much damage it does, right?
Exactly. It has 100 perfect sides. This is real science.
Ramona moves up to it and starts asking questions like, well, where's the line of articulation? And that's things that aren't real. Where's the epicenter?
Fanny starts waxing eloquent at you. Yes, it's perfect. It's the central bead is perfect for refracting light. But, and here's the important thing: you would need a ultraviolet laser of such power to even penetrate a gem like this that you wouldn't be able to see it outside of some high-powered, I would say, hydroelectric base.
Ultraviolet. That's cutting-edge technology. Who would have
it
such
is
a thing?
Indeed.
Who would have such a base?
Maybe your eyebrowed friend?
Can we all raise our eyebrow whenever the eyebrow is said? Like there's like a cut.
The eyebrow.
Everyone, the eyebrow.
It's actually this one. That's the villain.
The Rock, yeah.
Do you know a man by the name of Bodger Boar? It's not.
Did you just say Bulger Ball?
I need you to type
Bodger Boar, not Bulger Ball. That's completely different.
Bulger Ball, what?
What's wrong with it?
Walter, as a detective, you do know Bodger Boar.
Okay, what do I
Bodger
know?
Boar. Yeah, Bodger Boar was, and the fact that Hiromi and John are typing out Bodger Boar as if this is in any way important. Yes, you know that he was an agent, and he worked across Europe. He was suspected of working for the other side. And this was your first case for the agency, was to internally investigate Bodger Boar. He resented your internal investigation, didn't agree to it, and quickly absconded. He disappeared from the agency and has not been seen since.
Then Walter would exclaim, "Nom de Dieu, that fiend!"
A fiend indeed, and it is my understanding that Bodger Boar, or shall we just call him by his epithet, the Eyebrow, is active with such an aquatic base.
I didn't get the script before this started. I had no idea there would have been an eyebrow, or I would have set this up beforehand. This production team sucks.
Well, that's all I can help you with, but I will tell you this. If you keep hold of this sapphire and Bodger Boar wants it, then he is going to get it, and it will not matter how many people stand in his way. I can only wonder at what deathly reason he wants a hold of it, but he feels betrayed by the agency, my friends, as do many of us forcibly retired. and maybe for good reason. So I will not be holding on to it, and I will not be telling anyone that you were here. In fact, don't even tell Big Agent that you came here. I can't trust anyone for it to not get back to the eyebrow.
I can't do it.
But of course, drinks are on the house.
Sorry, the last one.
It's worth mentioning to the audience that the game is designed so that you can play this straight. Like, it could be a serious adventure. But why? When you can do this shit instead?
Yeah, it's like you can do actual like try to do actual spycraft, or you could just be silly. It's just have fun with it.
Yeah. They came from classified ranges, everything from John Le Carre to, as we mentioned, the Peter Sellers Casino Royale and Austin Powers, Man from U.N.C.L.E., The Avengers. It's and we decided we'd play in a fun way. So here we go. You are left in the bar of the Casbah. Fanny has not joined you.
Disappointing.
She remained in her boudoir.
So plots.
You're going to this aquatic base. What is your plan? You still don't know who the seller was, or in fact, who the highest buyer was. Probably Matt Karadzi, but he's dead now.
It had to be Kang, right? It had to be Kang. Kang was the first one to come to the back to the vault.
Where is she?
Yeah, I mean, it seems likely that if not Kang, then his employer was responsible for a lot of the mischief.
Really?
To go to the back before everything went off the rails.
Where was Claudia's casino?
As the name implies, Las Vegas. Though I think we can certainly, we can assume she has a casino in Monaco, and probably others in Tangiers and the like. She is quite the proprietress.
Well, I suspect I know who gave the ambassador his poison drink, because she did the same favor for me, which is why I was so relaxed on the way out the building, unlike the rest of you.
It did seem as though you had a solid massage.
I just thought you were sleeping on the job.
Interesting spa treatments, just relaxing yourself from the inside out.
Well, it's the best way to have a nice relaxing day off and then find yourself confronted by Fanny aplenty. Still, if we find Miss Campari, then perhaps she can point us in the direction of her erstwhile employer. I think that she is definitely under his thumb, or is it his eyebrow? I'm not sure.
So there's 45 minutes left of gameplay. So what are you going to do? You could go to Monaco and stop in at one of Campari's casinos, or you could make your way to this drilling rig that Kang told you about. Alternatively, you could just go back home with the sapphire and make yourself rich. Break it into pieces. There's no way you can use it then.
I imagine the writers in the writing room looking at each other and saying, well, what's an ending without an aquatic super base?
Yeah.
Agree.
Well, if she has one in Tangiers, that's actually technically on the way. Because
look at you with your geographical knowledge, Connery.
If we're going from Capri to Malta, we have to go around Sicily. So we could stop in at Tangiers and make our way down.
Pick up a straw donkey and
Yeah.
the other things tourists
Couple of
just turn up
pheasants.
with. Yeah.
We're building towards a sequel here, John, I think.
Terror in Tangiers.
Because it'd be no fun if we just like, screw it, we have this sapphire, let's just hold another auction and just run away before it just gets stolen before they claim it. So
well, while you are contemplating your action and just settling down, we're heading toward this aquatic base off Malta. That's when the men in blue overalls armed with submachine guns barge in to the Casbah, pointing them at you. And you hear Fanny behind you. I'm terribly sorry, but the eyebrow does pay so well.
it's fast.
It's not the
It's
first
the
time
Mediterranean. It's very small
It's not the first time
in American
I've been betrayed.
terms.
I've been betrayed by a fanny.
Yeah. You're going to come with us, says the man in the generic foreign accent. And you are not going to make a move to resist, or we will shoot these innocent celebrities in this bar. There's actors, you recognize some of them, and Bonnery. Hand over the sapphire. The lead guard puts his hand out. And then we will escort you to see Herr Eyebrow.
That's right, fools. Give us the sapphire. And Widowmaker turns and walks to the other side.
Oh, okay. You're going to pretend to be on the eyebrow side, the right side of the eyebrow. Are you going to roll your way to this, or are you going to trope it, or are you going to use a cinematic? You might be able to use a cinematic for a convenient double agent. It's not meant to be used on yourself, but you can use it on yourself. Basically, you now become an agent of the eyebrow.
It's like, are we pretending? Or are you?
Well, hold on, wasn't it me that got offered the job by Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It seems everyone's recruiting at this point.
I was
There's lots
only
of vacancies
pretending to
after.
be asleep.
There isn't much pay in the agency.
What do you think, Hiromi? Is the Widowmaker going to genuine? Well, we don't know if the Widowmaker's genuinely turned, but are you going to spend your rewrite to convince the guards that you're on their side?
If that's okay with the rest of the table, it seems like the fastest way.
Okay, we're down to one rewrite again. You back up and says, Widowmaker, I did not realize that you were already on the payroll.
No.
Have you taken the sapphire from Ramona? Yes, have you taken the sapphire from Ramona? Yeah. Okay. The Widowmaker has the sapphire. All four of you feel betrayed. But is the Widowmaker just being inscrutable? It's difficult to tell. The Widowmaker never sends a signal. Just a glare through the veil.
The eyebrow semaphore that she worked on. I developed this with my partner in crime, the eyebrow. Bum, bum, bum.
Well, together we are the eyebrows. Are all of you going to come quietly in and follow the security team, who obviously make to surround you, or are you going to start up a gunfight in the bar or a punch up?
Is there an open window?
Yeah, you could just jump through a window.
We're
if you
going
like.
there. He's like,
Bonnery salutes them. Oh, yeah, but I'm not going with you guys. Come on. He salutes them and goes, I do love a good chase, which is one of my quips. And then just...
Could you do an athletics and dexterity dexterity roll. Remember, if you choose to fail, you
That's
could
so many
get a
dice.
rewrite.
No,
Just
this is
Dive out
this
the
is-
window and just crash into the glass.
This is something.
Yeah. It's reinforced.
I like how I'm setting up my characters with the comic cuts of this whole thing, just constantly failing,
just trip.
falling over.
Yeah, just trips over a chair onto a table, it upends, drinks all over.
Well, with 7 dice,
All right, make your
actually
roll.
it's 8 dice because I did equip.
Yeah, you've got your quip.
So I'll roll an extra one, which is also that's 6 successes.
Oh,
Wow. Okay.
So
Yeah, you pretty much.
Can I activate a stunt?
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
I dive out the window into a waiting car, activate the stunt. What is it? What's it called? My friend, which is my friend, the car that I had waiting outside. Start the car, drive it, and as the guys are coming running out the door to catch me, just boom, suddenly slam it, handbrake turn, spin the rear end of the car, and just wipe them all off the veranda.
Yeah, into
reverse up
the
in front of
Bay
in
of
front the
Capri.
door, look at the Widowmaker and just go, "Why don't you get in my car?"
I assume you're intending on knocking the security into the sea, not your compatriots.
It's not my ally / enemy.
Yeah.
We just don't know.
Widowmaker, are you joining Bonnery in the car
Sure, why not?
against your better judgment?
Oh
Now, come on, the rest of you, don't
taken
stand there
against
looking
my
so
will.
impressed. We've got driving to do. It's a
There's
lovely
not
day,
far
isn't
you
it?
can drive in Capri, to be honest. You just keep
Off-
going
off-
round
off-
and round.
off a cliff, off a cliff onto the yacht.
man.
All right, so the Widowmaker and Bonnery speed off for the half a mile they can speed until they have to turn a corner and make their way back round. Given that Capri is a very small line. As they speed off, this leaves Walter and Roxa and Ramona right. You're without Sapphire. You're without 2 of your teammates who appear to have turned tail on you.
They're not coming back as
and
well, right?
Oh, you only invited the Widowmaker.
No, I thought we were all. I thought we were all escaping. That was the point.
Oh,
We can punch her way.
Bonnery's assuming the Widowmaker only did that to try to infiltrate their organization. He's like, I have a better way. I'm going to kill everyone with a car. And then use it to escape.
We can muscle
Kill
out.
everyone in the world.
Yeah.
That's his plan.
Okay, Kim, there's some security still in the bar, so if Roxa wants to take out some of those with sweet judo moves.
Yeah, I think that would be pretty good. And we'll use her equip. There's no reason why we can't do this like civilized people as we punch.
Very nice.
All right, so
the vaguely German guard who wasn't caught by the rear of the car, he's looking around. He hears your words. There's no reason we can't do this like civilized people. He points his gun at you and roll to smash him in the face.
all right, so let's see. This is going to be I guess we're trying to be fast, so I guess Dex plus athletic or Dex plus.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do close combat and dexterity, please.
And then the equip with 2. So 5. Right, and we'll roll. All right, 5 successes.
Okay, so you basically turn this man's nose inside out. As you punch him, he goes cross-eyed.
Oh, it's like we have enough successes, so why don't we use the stunt, because I don't know if I'll get to roll again. So it's like, let's do it. You're trapped in here with me. And so it's the +3 enemies suffer a +3 complication to their actions against you for the rest of the scene.
I think that comes from his being rendered cross-eyed for the remainder of the next 24 hours. So, my nose! My nose! He fires his Uzi into the ceiling. Fanny tries to make a quick getaway through the back. Walter.
Was that
What
the
action
last
are you
of the
taking?
Was that the last of the villains?
There's a few nameless henchmen. There's obviously Fanny Aplenty, who is in the bar as well, who has betrayed you.
She's trying to run.
Mm-hmm.
Walter is rough around the edges, so he will try to grab her and put her through the window with his quip. Out you go, through the door, out the window.
Good use of a quip. Lovely. Do you try and throw her through a fresh window, or
Yes,
the one
a
that
fresh
Bonnery
one.
has already escaped through? Oh, okay. Make sure she's having to pay those glaziers. Right. Close combat and dexterity.
Okay.
She may be Fanny Aplenty, but she's lacking in windows.
Yes. Windows are lackey.
3 successes.
3 successes. Ooh! She botched. So you're basically able to pick her up off of her feet, pull her back from her boudoir, and launch her head first through the window, armed with your quip. You can also take directorial control, as you've got that many successes. Is there anything you want to add to her launch?
I'm going with her. I'm going with her, but behind her, so if the henchmen shoot, they hit her.
Okay.
It's physically impossible, but damn it, you do it. You are like the part of the rocket that would usually let the shuttle go free, but you fly out after her. She smacks against the ground. You land delicately on your feet. You, as someone in the comments has just said, you surf this poor old lady out the window and into the cobbled streets of Capri.
Literally
bounce
jumping
bullets
a
off
shark.
that fatty.
Yes. Fanny all over the street.
I'll wait for the car to come back around because it won't take long.
No, it won't. And how about Ramona Wright, who has had the sapphire pried from her fingers? You now just have the secure case.
And are there any more of these lackeys around? That
Yeah, there's some nameless henchmen that are about to start
Yes.
firing into the bar.
Ramona is coming up to one of the nameless henchmen. She drops the case. She dials in her perfume to a new setting, and she reaches up to strike this person from behind. She says, "If you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours." And she brings it down, and she's gonna, I would like to fail the roll. I would like to fail.
Oh.
And so maybe this henchman turns around and grabs her by the wrist and drops the perfume down or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's good. So you're up to 2 rewrites again, and the henchman, who now has a name, Fritz, grabs you by the wrist, and indeed your perfume bottle hits the ground and shatters.
Oh, I have a trope.
Mm-hmm.
Since we started introducing tropes. See, Ramona Wright is no ordinary technician. She has a chemical focus. Most of her work in the lab takes place behind thick glass. And that setting that she set the perfume to will unleash a canister of toxic gas. I'm supposed to work with my director to determine the appropriate effects. The limitations of the production company, but in the medium-sized area.
I think, well, we've already had 1 knockout gas, haven't we? So I think
Laughing
this
gas.
one should... Laughing gas, very good. Yes, I like that. And all of a sudden, the hench people are buckled over in laughter, and so are all of the actors, singers, dancers, all the retirees that are here. So are you. Tex Apocalypse, who is in the corner. I just came in here for some Jim Beam.
What's Tex Apocalypse here? I don't understand.
Yeah. He this was the next bar he stopped in at. And everyone is lying. That means, Ramona, you can make your way out from the bar. Roxana, you have yes, well, you've incapacitated, let's be clear, the leader of the guard. But he might be useful. He could give you exact directions to where the aquatic base is found.
I guess I can like tie him up and haul him with us.
All right.
He's unconscious, so it's gonna be easy.
Yeah. He falls unconscious. You get back onto Lord Luck with your compatriots once they've made a circuit of Capri, and off you go toward the oil rig. As a epilogue to this scene, as Grumps McGirt in the comments has just noted, nitrous oxide, bad idea in a bar, as Tex Apocalypse, between laughs, lights a cigar. And there is a... Tex Apocalypse lives up to his name. It's now flammable. There we go.
All that's left at the end in the crater is a strangely elongated 40
Hey, rocking the Casbah, right?
Yes. So on the yacht, are you just taking the leader of the guard, or are you bringing Fanny aplenty?
Fanny's also coming.
We have to bring Fanny aplenty on a Mediterranean cruise. Come on. What's a Mediterranean cruise without Fanny aplenty?
Yes, yeah. All right then. Once you bring Hans back around to consciousness, it takes a quick interrogation for him to explain to you not just where the rig is, but how to access the underwater base without going through the rig. Knowing that the movie only has just under 30 minutes left of playtime, trying to sneak around an oil rig is no longer on the cards. Now you are getting straight into the underwater base with your yacht. So, we arrive at the underwater base. The underwater elevator shaft. Under cover of darkness, Lord Luck sidles up to the rig. You take a small raft out from the yacht to the underwater elevator and begin your descent. As the world around you turns dark blue and black, the darkness above barely penetrating, of course, because darkness doesn't penetrate, the sea, the water around you murky. Occasionally a fish makes its presence known. Eventually you land. Do you still have Hans and Fanny with you, or did you leave them tied up on the yacht?
Let's see. Do we need like security card access or like an eye?
Oh dear. Well, I guess you don't have to bring them. So,
it's all the guard uniforms. That'd be a better idea.
I've got
Fanny
this.
does. Yes, Fanny does explain that there are stringent security measures and traps, and she begs for forgiveness. She says, "I was paid well. The agency, they discarded me like a used tissue. Please, I'll tell you how to get to Eyebrow without setting off any of his traps. You just need to give me one of the life rafts, and I'll make my way to Malta." Or you could just take her eye out. Things get very Daniel Craig all of a sudden. Oh, I've got another way of doing this. Whack. Ah!
If we can figure out how to do this without taking out her eye, but is there a way to do it without taking her eye?
Well, you could take her bodily, or you could take her word for it about how to get through the base. What do you want to do, Roxana? You're the one who appears to be in charge of Fanny.
Oh! Nobody else picked that up. I enjoyed it.
I'm trying to decide if I'm going to be mean or not. Just take her eye.
See, well, this is going on. But Bonnery gets on the blower to a big agent very quietly and secretively make sure that she gets picked up when she goes back to
do we have the budget for that? For the effect? To just yank our eye out?
Well, I think you can.
What's the rating of this movie?
It has suddenly.
Let's find out.
Well, we mentioned earlier that the director changed halfway through. I think the director changed again 3/4 of the way through to Eli Roth.
Oh no!
And he said, "Yeah, take her eye out. Take her eye out. That'll be cool."
This is like a moral quandary, probably, for Roxy. What will Roxy do?
She betrayed the agency. She sold us out. We could have been killed. I think taking her eye and then letting her go on her way would be fair.
So it's not a moral quandary at all.
An eye for an eye, right?
Yeah, as Grumps McGirt has asked in the chat, are you sure which eye you need?
Which eye did
Better take both of them.
Thank you for making it even worse.
Wow.
Which normally they only do like one eye print, but yeah, we can still, you know, which hand are you?
Do we actually need her eyes to open doors? Like, I mean, if we asked that question.
She said
She's already told us no. She's told us that
no, she's done the stringent security measures, and she can tell you how to get through, and you're contemplating gouging her eyes out just to be safe. I mean, we don't want to look stupid here.
Just in case her eye opens a door. Like, what? Do we have any reason to believe that's actually the case?
Yes, and guys, yes, and
Roxana, it's up to you.
You know, we'll just take one eye. We'll take one. We'll just go.
Yeah. Yeah, give it a try. So you gouge out, and do you then give her the raft to get to Malta?
Yeah.
At least? Yeah. Oh, well, that's all right then.
But without depth perception, she's taken with the first shark that crosses our path. Yeah.
it's the shark that we jumped in the last
Smirch man,
scene.
death to all spies, right?
All right
Ramona
then.
shares a very stern gaze with Roxana. You've changed, she says, and there's ominous music. You're different since before. Well, you know. And she walks away.
I don't know what you're talking about. What was I like?
This is the one meaningful moment of dialogue in the entire movie.
But then we cut away, and then I'll take an eyedropper, and then we'll cut back, and it's just already full stream, single tear.
I'm going to give you a rewrite for that.
Honorary catches it in his martini glass and drinks it.
You lose the rewrite again.
It's worth it.
Fair.
So you make your way through the underwater base. It is all remarkably high tech. How Eyebrow has been able to afford this kind of luxury, this kind of high technology. Even he must be on the payroll of someone. Maybe the agency was right, Walter. Maybe Eyebrow was working for the other side. You don't know, but this entire place, there's lots of pictures of sapphires and lasers all over the walls, as if this man is obsessed, I tell you, with the sapphire that is now in Widowmaker's possession. You do not find any doors that require a retina scan.
It's a good thing we mutilated that old woman, isn't it?
Hey, she betrayed us. She's a double agent. You know, now she'll never do it again. Maybe.
There must be a cost. Thank you, Stannis Baratheon. Thank you, Barker.
Eyebrow
Truths
eye,
cut both ways,
it's on
Fanny.
theme.
Fanny's epilogue, of course, is one-eyed Fanny as she is making her way in on her raft to Malta. Unfortunately, the blood does attract sharks, and she never makes it to the rock in the Mediterranean. Nevertheless, with her information is good. It turns out she was telling you the truth. And are able to bypass the various patrols of guards. You do, however, see a part of the underwater base that you didn't expect, that Fanny didn't tell you about. It's marked up. It looks like some kind of leisure facility, a casino. But not that far down this corridor is where she told you Eyebrow's central hub could be found.
A casino, you say?
A casino, indeed.
Well, that seems suspiciously like the place where my good friend Las Vegas may be lurking.
There's even music. There is some Bobby Darin coming from within somewhere under the sea.
Ominous.
And his
Yeah.
eyeballs roasting on an open fire.
Is the party going to split up, or are you going to stick to your mission and go for eyebrow?
Probably stick to our mission with like 15 minutes left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think stay on target. Yeah.
We only have 3
All
pages
right.
left, guys.
The rest is all action. There's no more dialogue. We'll just get the
We don't have enough
stunt
rewrites
people
now. We
in
just
for
bin the yacht into the base and blow it up.
You do have 3 rewrites, so you could just blow the base up.
Please do it. Please.
Well, the rest of our budget on like
Okay, you
exploding
enter-
the base.
You enter the
Rendering
central.
mutilating that old woman even more pointless than it was before.
Just as she makes it away, she realizes how to paddle this raft. Boom! Her raft just explodes inexplicably. So, you dial in the code that Fanny told you about that opens up the central hub. It's an iris-style door, ironically, and find yourself walking into a room that looks very much like a ministry office. It's all mahogany paneled. There's a portrait of the Queen on the wall. It's all... Thank you, John. It looks like something that you would find in government offices. That the stares of the rest of the players, John, at you right now are deserved, I should say, for that comment. Chat that I will not be repeating for the sake of our audience. It's filthy.
More filthy than Fanny aplenty.
Stood in the office, rapier in hand, dressed as if for a duel, the waiter from the gallery.
Hemorrhoids!
That was just a clever ruse. I see you have made it to my underwater lair. I am Eyebrow.
I think you'll find that I am Eyebrow.
No. Come, Mr. Bunnery. You and I both know that when I eyebrow for Queen and country. But I have to admit that eyebrowing you will be a pleasure.
For England, James.
No, for Eyebrow. I see all of you have come, and I am surrounded. I assume you have neutralized all of my guards, and that is, of course, unfortunate. But before you take my life, as I know that you have license to do, I would like to make a counter offer. I'm amazed you didn't just run me through. Very well.
And he suddenly explodes.
Thank you. Thank you for playing by the rules of this genre.
Very polite.
As you know, I am interested in the Saturn Sapphire. And it is because with the Saturn Sapphire, I can equalize the state of this world. With an ultraviolet laser pointed through this sapphire, I can irradiate 100 cities across the globe and bring about world peace. I know that you have been mistreated by the agency set on this task, and no doubt you have been forced to take lives and not know why. That is why I betrayed them many years ago. I am offering to take you into my employ, and if you join me, I can assure you you will never be betrayed again. We can be a world order, Mr. B, and the rest of you. Ah, Walter, I recognize you. You were on my tail. You're the one that made me go to ground. I harbor you no ill will, but if you're to work for me, you must get some finer clothing. And I recognize Roxana that ever. I could tell you much about your past. I was in the agency long before you, and I know where you come from and how you were made the way you were. Widowmaker, there is little I can offer you except the chance for finer kills. The greatest prey of all, the greatest agents and assassins of the agency. And the young Ramona Wright, a technologist such as yourself, a quartermaster in the field. When you look at this underwater base, I imagine you thought this kind of technology was impossible. But now you look at it and you see what is at my disposal. Think of what we could accomplish together. My offer is a fair one. Hand over the sapphire, join my employ, and I will not have to duel one of you one-on-one and hope that the other 4 of you stand back and allow it to happen. Make your decision.
Ramona, do you mind if I take that off of your hands?
Of course. Hands it with a shaking hand.
Well, Mr. Eyebrow.
Yes, that is the name I go by.
I reveal the bit of Fanny Aplenty that we have. I've been keeping an eye on you. Which is a quip.
Yes. This is why you were down with the gouging.
And then I throw something to him, and I'm palming things to make it look like it's the sapphire. But no, it's one of Ramona's bombs.
Oh. I would assume as well he's probably got some kind of open-air shark tank in the middle of his office, so he reaches across it to grab at what he thinks is a sapphire. In fact, it's got human-eating octopi in there.
Celopods.
And then as he's leaning forward and grabs at it, he sees it is not the sapphire as he falls forward into the water. Are you going to spend your rewrite for your explosive action?
I think we kind of
seems
to.
it
Put on the
seems
glasses.
rude not
Get
to
ready.
at this point.
Yeah. Glasses in the ear pro.
Cut his eyebrow off first.
We take a trophy from every one of our victims. What happened to the agency after eyebrow?
It should be the Flash Gordon ending, where like as
If there's anything left after the celopods, right?
At the end, his eyebrow just lands on the floor and then glows, and then a hand comes and takes it away. You hear evil laughter in the background. That should be that.
Well, oh no! And he raises his eyebrow. Calamari. And Bodgem Ball sprays across the office, splatters the portrait of the Queen in all of her regalia. He didn't even get to tell the story of why he betrayed the agency. It was because he proposed to the Queen and she denied him. She took up with that Greek, that damn Greek Philip. And it was too much. Yes, it was too much for Eyebrow, who explodes. He detonates due to the power of Ramona Wright's explosive, along with many of his carnivorous octopuses. And the base goes into explosion detected. Explosion detected. Base will self-destruct as a precaution.
Safety mode activated. Explosion imminent.
Please make your way to the life rafts in berths A, B, C, and D.
Bonnery's already there. You didn't wait for the explosion. Fuck this.
It's always tentacles. It's always tentacles.
Is everyone making their way to the exit, or is anyone sticking around for any particular reason?
I mean,
It
I
might
can
be possible
stick
to shut off
around just-
the explosive.
Oh,
Do we want
you
the
have the
base?
sapphire, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Honorary gets the portrait of the Queen. He's going to use as a parachute at some point, I think.
If this were an air base, definitely. Very well. You all make your way to Berth A, where a lot of security guards are quite surprised to see you, but no one's opening fire. They're just getting into the life rafts that bob you up to the surface. They're, of course, all bathyspheres. You know, they're all round. They whoop. Never mind the bends. You all come up with brain hemorrhages. You all surface rapidly. And then you take off into the air, surprisingly, as the underwater base explodes and makes the water beneath you shoot up, along with all the bathyspheres filled with escapees. And as you fly through the sky, Bonnery, you see out of the window of your bathysphere Claudia Las Vegas in her bathysphere, and she goes and blows a kiss to you as hers heads in an opposite direction. This courtship is not over, you are sure. Maybe in the sequel, Terra in Tangiers.
Yeah, but
we will
Bonnery
see.
puts his hand on the glass as the portrait of the Queen looms over his shoulder disapprovingly. As Forever and Ever by English Sauce blares out in the background. And it pans away from him.
So we conclude with a bassy number, a rogues gallery, and the bathysphere flying through the sky back to good old Britain. The mission only half completed, kind of. But no one remembers the briefing at the beginning at this point. There's been an explosion, a villain has died, an eye was gouged, a sapphire was gained, and a portrait of the Queen was recovered from an explosion. You can't get much more patriotic than that. And the octopus in the ocean now swim free from their captor, happy at last to become terrors from beneath the sea in a completely tangential brand owned by the producer. So, with that said, and notwithstanding, we come to the conclusion of they came from Classified Rogues Gallery. And I thank you, all of you, for watching. And I thank all of you for playing. And yes, a woman was eaten by a shark, lol, as Velvet. That's remarked.
A mutilated woman with one eye.
Yes, a shark ate Fanny aplenty in the
as the bathysphere flies over.
And our
Fanny aplenty, yeah.
Yep. And we come to the conclusion of our story. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. There is still time left at Onyx Path Con to participate in games, to play in games, to run games. Just go to our website where you can find lots of games. You can still run games. Sign up to a game if there's a spot and you've got space. You will enjoy it. You don't just have to watch, you can participate in games too. Please also take advantage of the bundles we have available on drivethroughrpg.com. Just type in Onyx Path and you will find them. And finally, please donate to the Bodhana group. They are the charity supporting us and the charity we are supporting. They use RPGs as therapeutic tools. Anything you can donate to them as low as a couple of dollars is still hugely appreciated. I appreciate it, we appreciate it, they appreciate it. And it is really going to a good cause. Thank you so much to Tyler, to Kim, to John, to Hiromi, and to Barker for this frankly bizarre session of They Came From Classified. We have had a lot of ridiculous fun. It has gone straight to Netflix. And no one will. No, in fact, Netflix is too good for it. This has gone to that well of Amazon Prime where you really have to dig through to actually find it. And one person did and gave it a 5-star rating, so it's bizarrely high rated on IMDb right now. So, with that said, thank you very much. And now let's all wave off awkwardly until we sign out. Bye bye.